So, the original Max Payne is a game that still holds up in today's age despite the atrocious diabetes-inducing dream sequences. However, this video is actually about the sequel, The Fall of Max Payne, that is somehow even more impressive. Just look at that. This is a 23-year-old game, way older than what Epstein was used to. But graphics and art design ain't everything. You still need to cook up a fire story to honor the name of Max Payne. So did the sequel actually pull that off? Is the world still just as bleak and bone-chilling as the previous game? And who in the hell is this guy? That ain't my Max? Well, to answer that, we'd better jump into The Fall of Max Payne. We begin the game in a hospital where Max is being treated for a gunshot wound. He vividly recalls killing a woman. Who that bird is still unknown for now. And right off the bat, you could notice just how well this game looks, especially if you compare it to Max Payne 1. Max loots a body and grabs his gun, but then an ugly soldier with a mask peeks the corner and gets a warm welcome. Our protagonist is clearly going through it. He starts hallucinating an officer, then shoots her cold-blooded. Thankfully, it was only a dream. Or was it? The game has little bits and pieces of a show randomly playing on televisions. At first, you might neglect it thinking it's a bunch of baloney. But trust me, the symbolism here is on point. Following the bizarre stories shown on the screens adds an angle to Max's mental state. And it's just a cool thing to include in a game. It gets you to care about the world in a genius way. So we go down an elevator to meet Jim Bravura. This guy has aged 20 years in the span of 2 games. But regardless, he mentions me killing her, then gets John Marston to death. Max then finds the body of Winterson, a detective who was also a co-worker of Payne. It appears Max has indeed killed the poor woman. Who the hell was Winterson again? However, everything shown earlier was just a bad dream. The real start begins here. After the events of the last game, Woden kept his promise and released Max from custody. But Payne couldn't stomach the idea of working with the DEA again, so he quit and went back to the NYPD. And one night he gets called to a crime scene where shots had been heard at a warehouse. The address belonged to Vlad, the Russian that helped us take down Horn. I know I've been glazing this game already as if it gave me birth, but god, does it look beautiful. The rain, the forming of pools reflecting the downpour, the palpable cold atmosphere. It's so good that I had no idea how to get inside the warehouse. I spent an embarrassingly long time just trying to find a way in. I go inside and bump into the first human. They reveal him like he's some supermodel, but the harsh reality is that he dies 20 seconds after. He tries to gaslight me by saying that the gunshot was just the sound of the gas workshop upstairs. But I was promoted detective for a reason. So I kill him and his group of cleaners, then head upstairs to the death of another woman.
Story of my life.
That woman's name was Annie Finn, a licensed arm dealer supposedly working for Vlad. The cleaners begin to escape, but then they meet the immovable object.
Hey!
Mona?
Max, we gotta stop meeting like this.
I go after the rest of them and get saved by Winterson. Now, Jim decided to hand me the investigation on Annie's death, while Winterson handled the death of a senator. Winterson's case had a primary suspect, Mona Sachs, but Max's sudden and very logical, yes, very logical feelings for the woman stopped him from revealing Mona's presence at the crime scene. But now, it's my turn to reveal Annie's death to Vlad. I head to Vodka, aka his new restaurant, to break the bad news to him. But he was not alone, as I heard guns popping off inside. Upon entering, I witnessed Mike the cowboy committing war crime after another on these innocent mafia members. Now Mike has a significant role to play in the events of the game. He dies in the next level. The guy leading the attack on Vlad is none other than Vinny, the squeaky chipmunk from the last game. But he runs away after seeing me. I don't blame the kid. The trauma I embarked on him is enough to break his soul. Vlad accuses Vinny of Annie's death and the wars between the mafias. Again, the very logical, extremely sensible friendship between Max and Vlad is enough to make me believe him. So I head home to get some rest, but the nightmares won't leave. At first, I was prepared to go through the same hell as last time and potentially put a hole in my desk. But Remedy has finally learned the lesson. The dream sequences have been replaced for something far more enjoyable. Max starts imagining killing Jim and Winterson to protect Mona. Now here comes a tiny bit of complaining, so bear with me. I don't really like the idea of Mona being a real human being that Max has actually fallen in love with. Their relationship feels so forced, especially when she got like 10 minutes of screen time in MP1. And now suddenly Max is so infatuated with her that he's willing to temporarily forget about his wife and dreams about her 24/7. I get that people cope with death in different ways, but for the entire first half I was fully convinced that Mona isn't actually a real person, but a symbolic way of portraying how Max is still holding on to his dead wife by falling in love with someone similar to her. It made no sense that he would be so into her to the point of lying to his peers and protecting a criminal. And the same goes to Max's friendship with Vlad, but that's a bit more believable given that Vlad helped Max many times in Max Payne 1. Anyhow, Max wakes up to Mona on his doorstep. She reveals that there's a death contract on both of them. That is where we get sniped by someone from afar. Thankfully, the guy either has no frontal lobe or he's blind in both eyes, so he misses every single shot despite having a direct sight. She runs away and leaves me to die, but love is unbreakable, unavoidable, unchangeable, and I immediately forget about that. I call Winterson for backup, but she never shows up, which is weird, but who cares? Let's go after Mona, right Max? After successfully escaping the building, I go to the police station and find Mona's number on my desk. She leads me to an abandoned funhouse? Ah, now we're talking. See, you should have led with that, Max. Then I would have defended you. The funhouse is actually an amazing segment with a great amount of references to the last game. No shooting involved, just pure storytelling. It also has one of my favorite monologues from Max.
Your past has a way of sneaking up on you. You'll hear broken echoes of it everywhere, like a bad replay. You get mad at everybody for reminding you about it, even if it's all in your head. When entertainment turns to a surreal reflection of your life, you're a lucky man if you can laugh at the joke. Luck and I weren't on speaking terms. Or maybe the place was just too lame to be funny.
Ultimately, Max barges in on her taking a shower with zero respect to privacy. He demands answers as she is standing there with no clothes. Long story short, the inner circle from the previous game, aka the guys Alfred Woden was a part of, are taking out anyone who knows of their existence. So she tags along and takes me to an insider for proof. Max adds a new meaning to cleaning house by murdering innocent workers and finds the dead body of the informant. So now our only lead is Alfred Woden. I attempt to escape the area by using my slick parkour skills. I did say attempt. Moments later, Kaufman shows up. He's an actual waste of screen time. They mentioned him earlier in the game, but he just doesn't serve anything to the story or change much really. But you know what does change things? Joining me and subscribing to the channel. You could also check my Max Payne 1 video after this. After I take a lift to return, it seems like my luck has ran out. Jim and Winterson arrest Mona and start questioning my loyalty. They got every right to do so. I am a depressed man in a midlife crisis who has just lost his wife. Anyone that is willing to accept such a person into the force should be put behind bars. However, Jim still believes in me for some bizarre reason and decides to put me on a desk job. I don't know. Max leaves his office thinking, was Mona really worth all of that? This bro is the Lolo. You've talked to the woman for 3 minutes in the last game. No, she's not worth it. She never was worth it. Who the hell is even she to you? Anyhow, there are these two officers in the station watching TV. If you stand in front of them or turn off the television, they would react to you. It's just a cool touch that adds life into the world of the game. Afterwards, Winterson shows her true colors.
They're taking the fall, both of them. Payne was with her when she was arrested.
Who are you talking to? You're leaking information.
Bravura's too soft on you. I was informing the proper authorities on what they should know. Stay away from my case, Max. Stay away for your own good.
Everything had started out as black and white. Somewhere down the road, the line went blurry. The colors started to run, got smudged and gray. Winterson had been above my suspicion, It felt like a goodbye.
I go to Mona's cell to get information. She advises me to call Woden for answers on what is happening. So I do exactly that, but to no avail. Then, a bomb goes off in the prison. Mona picks up the key and escapes, but Max believes she is heading to the funhouse from earlier. And conveniently, Vlad shows up with a ride. He then drops us at Mona's hideout. They then start to recollect their thoughts in a different way than usual. But then the cleaners start coming after us. They try to escape with their van, but luckily Max is highly intelligent, so he jumps in the back to follow them. Now, I've never driven a van before, but I'm very certain that if a grown-ass adult jumped in the back of the vehicle, it probably would make the loudest bang of the century. But the cleaners are quite literally the definition of NPCs, so I guess they didn't hear. Max realizes that he still has the radio Mona gave him, so he informs her of his plan to infiltrate the cleaners' base. So they took me to a weird building where I assault one of them. Then after a long series of explosions and mass shooting, I find a room full of bodies the cleaners were trying to get rid of. But before I get a chance to call the cops, they start shooting at me while I'm surrounded by bombs. The entire building starts going down and I fall with it. Now we take control of Mona. Her gameplay section focuses on long-range combat with rifles and snipers, and to be frank, the next section is a bit lazy. It's basically just one big building that you go through once with Max and again with Mona, and almost every room is a carbon copy of the last, which infuriates me. I hate when games are half-baked to the point of copying and pasting the same long sections and calling it a full game. But on a positive note, the gunplay to me seems to be significantly more fluid than the last game. Your crosshair is actually somewhat accurate here. The bullet time, while overpowered at times, is still a joy to use, and most guns are actually viable now, whereas in the previous entry there were only like 2 weapons that actually worked. Mona gets to where Max got knocked out and provides cover fire as he tries to escape. And after 16 locked doors, he finally finds an open gate. But Winterson, aka the pain in the ass, makes an appearance.
Stay out of this, Max. You're only making it worse. You've been suspended.
She's one of them. She's here to kill me.
I'm doing my duty. She is a fugitive murder suspect. I'm taking her in. She resists, she gets shot.
As surely as the bullet rips through the victim's flesh, organ, and bone, it shatters the image of the man who presses the trigger.
Easy.
Back off, Payne.
This is what I see when I look back. These moments, blinding as snow, they kill you, change you. You die and live again, remade.
No, Mona. Winterson!
Gunfire! This way, fast!
Go! Go, run! Mona!
Over here! Hold it! Detective Winterson! Officer down! He went over the edge!
The genius of the hole. No matter how long you spend climbing out, you can still fall back down in an instant.
One more dream sequence for the fans, for the lovers of morphed realities. God. In this one, Max's lust for Mona is dialed up to 11. The guy's hard-on for this woman is leagues ahead than what he ever felt for his wife. But believe it or not, there's actually some good stuff in here. Max goes through a prison holding other versions of himself. Each version depicts a side of him. The paranoid Max, the insane Max, the schizophrenic Max, and my favorite, the Mad Max. No, not the movie. After waking up from that bizarre dream, a group of killers try to break in. Our guy cannot catch a break. The hospital is probably the closest this game gets to Max Payne 1. It acts as one big puzzle where you use the manual save feature to solve it one room at a time. You have no gun at the start and your objective is to run away for as long as you can while searching for a pistol. Ultimately, I made my way out of the hospital and straight into Alfred Woden's manor, where we both have a serious conversation.
Mr. Payne, I've been expecting you.
The score on Mona Sachs?
Next question.
Fine. Why is the Inner Circle trying to kill me?
I am dying. Cancer. Power has leaked through my fingers. There was a rebellion. A renegade faction has pushed the society into a civil war. Everyone who resists is assassinated. We have been reduced to fighting mob wars.
Vinny Gognitti?
Vladimir Lem.
I knew the answer before he told me. Vlad had lied. Cleaning company commandos were his men. I left Woden at the door of his panic room. By talking of fate, Vlad had been asking for my blessing to his plan to murder me. I've been keeping to the backbeat, reacting to Vlad's moves, cleaning up after him. No more.
And now we head straight into Vlad's restaurant. The amount of war crimes I commit here could very well take the video down, so let's just say that there might be a staff shortage at the place. Entering Vlad's room, I notice a map of Vinny's location. If I find him, he might lead me to Vlad, but before I get to do that, the truth slips.
You have one new message.
Vlad, it's me. Where are you? I need you. I'm on my way to the construction site now.
Winterson?
I'll do it. I'll take care of them both for you.
The gilding on the mask had cracked to reveal the rot underneath. Winterson's confession didn't wash away my guilt. It made me feel worse. I had a meeting scheduled with Vlad at Vinny's place.
So I make my way to Vinny, but the place is like Afghanistan 2001. Vlad's mob family against Vinny's, both with a combined IQ of 14. Vinny's goons are so mentally regressed that they thought I was a part of reinforcements, but in reality, I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. I watched them die one by one, then killed the leftovers. Finally, I found Vinny. This guy is like the comedic relief of Max Payne, a game so serious, yet this kid is wearing that. Anyhow, this turns into an escort mission where he has a bomb planted inside his cosplay and I gotta get him to Mona, because obviously Mona is the greatest human being in history, according to Max, probably. So I get to the funhouse, but instead of Mona we bump into someone slightly less attractive. He detonates the bomb and the game jumps back into Mona at the same time of the explosion. She finds Vinny, who has evaporated from Earth, and also Max knocked out for the second time. She starts kissing him Disney style to bring him back to life. I know it's CPR, just back off. It turns out Vlad actually shot Max in the head and he survived. Maybe I'm too stupid to realize if this is supposed to be symbolic or not, but none of the other characters mention it again, so I guess? Anyway, Max wakes up, takes Mona and heads straight into Odin's manor, because apparently that's where Vlad is going, but we need to hear Max's wisdom first.
Vlad was right. There are no choices. Nothing but a straight line. The illusion comes afterwards, when you ask why me, and what if. When you look back, see the branches, like a pruned bonsai tree, or a forked lightning. If you had done something differently, it wouldn't be you. It would be someone else looking back, asking a different set of questions.
Woden's manor is designed for close quarters combat, similar to MP1. It ditches the copy and pasted design of the construction site from earlier and focuses on delivering a really fun breaking in mission with Mona. I find camera footage of Vlad and his bodyguards nearing in on Woden to put him down. I gotta find him first and prevent the assassination. But then we reach a locked door and there's seemingly no way inside. However, Mona unlocks the gate as if she already knows the layout of the manor, which seems suspicious. So we go inside, and the unforeseeable happens. Mona betrays me and tries to shoot me, but she can't. That's where Vlad puts a bullet in her. Mr. Main character even shoots Woden in the guts and leaves him to die. Max's sirens go off and attacks Vlad, but the coward runs away. Now we gotta get to him before the bomb goes off. This is where a long chase sequence starts. And not only that, but your boy here decided to manually save the game just seconds before the explosion, so it was actually impossible to progress unless I reverted back to an older save. It is what it is. At the end, I get to Vlad and finally put him to rest.
That was... Max, dearest of all my friends. I was supposed to be the hero.
The past is a gaping hole. Your only chance is to turn around and face it. But it's like kissing the lips of your dead love. Darkness waiting in the hole of your mouth. We are willing to suffer, to die for the things we care about, for love, for the right choices. Because of her, I had solved the case, my case, all of it, who I am. She was dead. The bullet in her head had come to the end of its slow-motion journey.
Stay sharp. We're going in.
Go, go, go!
Now, like all my loves, she is mine forever. She has brought me here to this moment of clarity, where time slows down and I choose to look back, to see myself.
Detective Payne? He's still alive! We need a medic in here now! He's still alive!
I had a dream of my wife. She was dead, but it was all right.
Max Payne 2 just might be my favorite in the trilogy. The gameplay received a nice polish compared to the last one, and the writing is still just as witty and hard-hitting as before. And finally, the graphics, animations, and body physics are undoubtedly some of the best in the industry at the time. I will admit though, my biggest gripe with the game is the story. The relationship between Max and Mona feels unintuitive and just forced upon the player. Like, hey, you gotta believe me, man, Max and Mona are lovers even though they've barely talked to each other in the last game, but trust me, they love each other. And I don't think that resonated with me as much as it did in Max Payne 1. Revenge stories have been milked to death, especially in today's age, but Max Payne wasn't just about revenge. It was a tale about dealing with loss, going through the stages of grief, and forgetting your morals for the sake of vengeance. However, Max Payne 2 just settles for a basic love story between two characters that have little to no chemistry. And even Max's resolution at the end, where he has a dream about his dead wife but is now content with it, doesn't feel deserved at that point. He spends the entire second game with a different woman, immediately replacing his dead wife, and after she dies he realizes that, okay, now I can move on. But why? Why are you moving on just now and not at the end of the last game? At least back then you went through hell and back to get revenge, and in the end realized that killing her murderers won't bring her back. So you have an actual justification for moving on. And even saying that he moved on is a stretch, because in the next game he goes back into grieving. But that's a conversation for another time. Max Payne 3's video will come out soon, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a sub to the channel would mean a lot, and if you wish, you could check out my other videos where I cover plenty of other games. But in any case, see you in the next one.